What is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. A little special edition here. Doing Lakers talk on a Saturday. A couple things that I want to get into. I don't have a Lakers talk coming up until Wednesday. So, had a couple topics that I want to get into. So, wanted to certainly do this. Appreciate you guys tuning in, by the way. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Always try to put up some Lakers, obviously, content here on the channel. I got three things that I want to do in this afternoon show. So first off, some of the buzz that went on earlier today. LeBron James showing up at the Drew League. Kyrie Irving not showing up at the Drew League. And then that conversation, which is really the main piece of what I want to talk about today, is Russell Westbrook, him and his longtime agent parting ways. So that's going to be the conversation. That's what we're going to get into. Again, appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Let's start off with this. Quite the buzz today. And it started yesterday with LeBron talking about, or there were some reports out there, LeBron potentially playing in the Drew League. Let me give everybody just a quick background here of the Drew League out here in Los Angeles. And there's obviously not too much newsworthy stuff here, except I think the Kyrie piece has a little bit to do with it. So the Drew League is a league that goes on every single year out here in the summer in Los Angeles. It's in South LA. It's at a high school called King High School. And the Drew League started back in like the mid-'70s, something along those lines. And the reason why I'm giving a little background of why this is a big deal, because it's not just in LA, but if you were on social today and anything, Instagram, on IG or on Twitter, whatever the case is, that kind of took over the sports world, was LeBron may play in this thing. There have been other greats to be a part of the Drew League, and that's including Kobe Bryant, that's including KD. LeBron, last time he played was back in 2011. DeMar DeRozan, who's from South Central Los Angeles, he was in it today, and he's been in it past. So there's been a number of NBA legends that have been a part of it, or all-stars that have been a part of it, or just NBA players in general that have been a part of the Drew League. So it's an iconic league that they hold in the summer. For those who've been following me for really since the beginning of Lakers talk, I got kind of introduced to the Drew League probably 6 years ago, something like that, 6 years ago, something along those lines, probably closer to 6. And I actually did a couple Lakers talk, a couple of my shows when I was still doing the show on Saturdays. This was before I started getting the gig on Monday night and before I really did anything else with 710 as far as on a consistent basis. We broadcasted a few of our Lakers talk shows on Saturdays from the Drew League. So the place it's incredible. It really is. It's an iconic place simply because it's right in the middle of the heart of Los Angeles. It's at a high school, and you got a chance to watch NBA players, college players, guys that will eventually make the league, guys that maybe are past their prime, whatever the case is, and you get a chance to see it in a high school gym. In fact, one of the days that I remember doing a show from there, it was during free agency, and you know who the Lakers signed on the day that I was doing my show there? Timofey Mozgov and Luol Deng. So not exactly the greatest memories there, but that's from a Laker perspective. So that's some of the history of the Drew League. It really, really is cool, and it's fantastic. And the fact that LeBron decided to go out there on a Saturday, he tweeted this out maybe 45 minutes ago, at least while I'm recording this. Thank you, Drew League. Love the energy from start to finish. All for the City of Angels, obviously talking about L.A. I guess he dropped 42, had 16 rebounds, I'm assuming here. It just says 42 and 16 uninterrupted. Put that out there. It's cool because I was doing a little bit of TV today. Occasionally I'll do some TV, Sports Central on CBS with Jim Hill on Saturdays. Today happened to be one of the days that I was doing it. So we kind of did a little piece on that, talked about the history of the Drew League, what LeBron did today, and all the buzz that came with it. So for not having all that much news right now around the NBA, because it seems like everything is in a standstill, we got to see Bron and DeMar DeRozan in LA at the Drew League. Pretty cool stuff right there. The other piece of this was Dave McMenamin put out this tweet because part of the conversation too was Kyrie supposed to be playing. Kyrie was supposed to play in a game at 11 a.m. LeBron was going to play the game at 1:30, 1:45, whenever it was. McMenamin put out a tweet. Drew League Commissioner Dino Smiley says to ESPN when asked about Kyrie Irving, "We still have a couple games left today and then 6 tomorrow, so we'll see. But that sounded like it was going to be a sure bet, but I don't know what happened." I know I'm just gonna obviously talk about this from more of a Laker NBA perspective. I was really disappointed Kyrie didn't show up, and I don't know. Is it ironic in a sense that Kyrie says he's going to come, or his people say he's going to come and doesn't come? What the hell does that mean? I don't know. But there was some buzz earlier that, hey, maybe LeBron and Kyrie are both going to be there at the same time. Hey, maybe you could tie in some stuff into this that, maybe something can happen in the near future where Kyrie ends up being a Laker. I know we all look into this stuff too much, but I didn't think there was coincidence that LeBron will be potentially playing, Kyrie would be potentially playing. And then this is going to lead me to really why I wanted to even have this conversation today and do a quick little Lakers talk episode on a Saturday. The Russ news, in my opinion, that's kind of the big news here in these last couple of days around the NBA, and I'll explain to you what I mean. But just to put a capper on this Drew League stuff, LeBron shows up. Kyrie Irving did not show up. Maybe he comes. Maybe by the time I put this thing out, Kyrie showed up at the Drew League, or maybe he shows up tomorrow. Maybe he doesn't show up at all. But for a player that we've talked about, kind of the label that's being attached onto Kyrie is you can't really rely on this guy. You don't know what he's going to, how many games is he going to play in? That's really been the storyline behind Kyrie, period, over the last couple of years. Obviously didn't get the vaccine, has been with a few different franchises over the last couple of years. And with all that, we thought he was showing up to the Drew League, but he's a no-show in that regard. The Russ piece. I'm going to go to an article. Woj put this out yesterday. Russell Westbrook and his longtime agent, Thad Foucher of Wasserman, have parted ways, Foucher told ESPN on Friday night. I'm going to read off some of this quote because, to me, there's a lot of telling statements here, and maybe this will determine whether Russ is going to be a part of the Lakers in the near future or if he's not. We know Russ opted into the final year of his contract. $47 million is what he's going to get. Foucher, who's his agent, I guess believes Russ's best option is to stay with the Lakers, embrace the starting role, and support that Darvin Ham publicly offered. I'm going to do that one first, and then I got a couple other angles to this that I want to take. This dude's been his agent for 14 years. Since he graduated, or since he left UCLA as a sophomore all the way back in 2008, was selected number 4 overall by the Sonics, if you guys remember. Later became the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's had the same agent this entire time. He's had the same agent this entire, through this journey, I guess you can call it. So I'm really, really trying to pay attention to what his agent's trying to say. He said, best option is to stay with the Lakers, embrace the starting role, and support that Darvin Ham publicly offered. I got to be honest, Laker fans. I have a difficult one kind of understanding why he feels that's the best option to stay with the Lakers. He's going to make his case and his reason why he thinks that is. Let me give you guys a quick example of why I feel it's better for both Russ and the Lakers to part ways. We'll see. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm completely wrong on this one. But I'm going to give you guys one example of what Laker fans think about Russ. Yesterday, if you guys follow 710 ESPN, Twitter, Instagram, or the shows that I do, whatever the case is, we did a celebrity softball game yesterday. And celebrity basically being just the people on the radio station, whatever the case is. At the end, when we were done, we were giving away some stuff. We did like a raffle. So all the listeners that were there, who hung out, chilled, the whole thing, we did a raffle. And we're giving away some, merchandise that we have. Okay, guys, we got a Kaeteyln Horton-Tucker, autographed Kaeteyln Horton-Tucker basketball we're giving out. They call out the number, whatever the case is. Okay, we got blah, 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 Carmelo Anthony they're giving out. When they had something to give away for Russ, I'm not kidding you, the people who were there were booing. And I'm like, Jesus, even out here at a celebrity softball game and a chance to win something, a Russell Westbrook, some type of memorabilia, autographed, maybe it was a basketball, I can't remember what it was. And Laker fans were booing at this freaking softball game. I don't know if Russ can get back to what he would like to see that identity be for him and have that be in a Laker uniform. It's my personal opinion. And I'm not saying that this isn't a business, and I'm not saying that if a team like the Brooklyn Nets want to give up Kyrie Irving and, eventually move on from the situation, and Kyrie and Russ, they swap, maybe Russ ends up somewhere else. Of course, the Lakers would have to give up draft picks and compensation. But damn, tell me, Russ kind of walking into this situation next year for the Lakers, I don't know how much of it's going to change. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But the strengths that Russ has had in the past is obviously not the strengths with what Anthony Davis and LeBron James represent. I'm going to continue to read what Foucher said here. Again, this is his agent, Thad Foucher, who is parting ways with Russ. I represented Russell Westbrook for 14 years, and I'm proud of our partnership, which included a highly successful 2008 draft, a Supermax contract, and the only renegotiate and extend max contract in history. I'm going to kind of skip a little here because some things I don't think are that important. Each time teams gave up, no, this actually is important. I also supported Russell throughout his rise into a prominent fashion industry figure and recently orchestrating 3 successful trades on Russell's behalf, culminating with the trade to his hometown, Los Angeles Lakers. Each time teams gave up valuable players and assets to acquire Russell, and each time a new organization embraced his arrival, we did it together with grace and class. So obviously he's taking a little bit of credit on making sure his client got what he wanted, as he should. And I'm not telling you that those two probably didn't have a fantastic partnership for 14 years. I'm going to go back and read the quote. Now, with a possibility of a 4th trade in 4 years, the marketplace is telling the Lakers they must add additional value with Russell in any trade scenario, and even then, such a trade may require Russell to immediately move on from the team via a buyout. My belief is that this type of transaction only serves to diminish Russell's value, and his best option is stay with the Lakers, embrace the starting role and support that Darvin Ham publicly offered. He goes on to say Russell's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Will prove that again before he is retired. Okay. 4th trade in 4 years. The marketplace is telling the Lakers they must add additional value, and that even if Russ gets traded, it will lead into a buyout. So I think if he's worried about his market value at this point, his market value, what hurts him the most, in my opinion, is that it's $47 million this upcoming year. He's already getting that either way. And even if Russ has one of those seasons this year where he comes back and creates value and has a good season with the Lakers or with another team, even if he comes back and creates value, what will be his most valuable is that his contract is expiring because he's making $47 million. So I don't know if I fully agree with this. What's hurting Russ is that not only is it a bad fit with the Lakers, not only has the league evolved into something that does not play to the strengths of Russ, but also that he's making $47 million. So I think it's a combination of all those things. Whether he moves on and it's his 4th team in 4 years, whether he stays with the Lakers, that $47 million is still there. And his skill set of what he brings to the table every single night is also still there. So I think what this is telling me, because I'm going to read off the final quote here. Unfortunately, our differences exist as to, unfortunately, irreconcilable differences, I probably butchered that because I cannot pronounce it, exist as to his best pathway forward, and we are no longer working together. I wish Russell and his family the very best. So this tells me, that last quote tells me this. His agent's telling him to do this. Stay with the Lakers, play out this final year, embrace your role, get back to trying to be who you are, and see if Darvin Ham can help you with a starting role with the Lakers, and see if you could kind of fix some of those pieces that are all over the place. And it sounds like Russ is saying, my brother, we've had 14 years together. I'm done with the Lakers. I don't want to be there any longer. And unless you help me move on, maybe we should just part ways as well. That's what this is telling me. This is telling me that Russ is saying, I don't care really what you think. At the end of the day, you work for me, and I respect you, and we've had a great career together and many endeavors and made a lot of money together. I want off of this Lakers team, and I want to move the hell on, while his agent is telling him, just try to make the best of the final year of your contract. I got to be honest. I kind of lean towards Russ on this one. Maybe that's the Laker fan in me that wants to see the Lakers move on from Russ individually or as a team. Maybe it's, I already saw what I saw last season. I don't want to see it again. However you want to kind of break this whole thing down, it's definitely two guys that see the picture differently, and that makes it sound more to me that Russ is saying, I want the hell out of here, which I think the Lakers lose a little leverage in that department if that's the case. I don't know what's happened. Since that Darvin Ham was introduced and Russ was there and everything else, we got all those quotes. It could just simply be Kyrie became available, maybe he's gone, the mess going on in Brooklyn and KD wanting out, and Russ knows specifically that it doesn't look like the Lakers would prefer him there. And even a guy like LeBron James. How about that Summer League game where LeBron and Russ are there, and they never say hi to each other publicly? That's telling. A lot of this stuff is telling, and this is just another piece to the Laker offseason that still has not fully been answered of what kind of roster we're going to have by the time we get to training camp. Okay, Laker fans, do me a favor. Comment below. Let me know what you think. What does this mean? Does this mean that Russ wants out? Does this mean, who do you kind of side with in this situation? Does this hurt the Lakers' situation in trying to trade Russ if it's that public that his agent comes out and is pretty much like, hey, let's put the kibosh on this? Let me get your thoughts on that. Bron at the Drew League. If you've ever been to the Drew League before, you want to comment on that as well. And the whole Kyrie factor that I tried laying out to Laker fans as well. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Just a quick reminder, like I said, I don't have another Lakers talk show. It's not coming until Wednesday. So thank you all for being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll get back with you guys soon.